This is Erling Haaland and he plays for Manchester City. However, in this video, I've trapped Haaland at non-league club Wrexham for 20 years. Now, Wrexham have paid the same price City paid, so they've splashed 51 million on him, which I actually think is quite fair when you consider what Haaland is going to do for this club in the next couple of years. 51 million is going to be a bargain in about 5 years' time. He's also gone from £350,000 per week down to £3,000 per week. I mean, I'd still be happy with that as a weekly wage. Wrexham do still have the biggest bank balance and estimated value in the Vanarama National, so a cool 51 million doesn't really look like it's going to hurt them much. The Wrexham fans already love the owners Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney, and they're going to love them even more now they've brought the big Norwegian to the club. They're happy, Haaland's happy, I'm sure he is at Wrexham, and I'd be happy if you dropped a like on the video and subscribed to the channel. So Haaland will return to City in 20 years' time when he's 41 years old. He'll probably still be good then, right? But he's got plenty of years to take Wrexham as far as he can. I'm not quite sure what I'm expecting here. I guess it could depend on who else the club bring in to support him. But in 20 years, the Premier League, the Champions League, I mean, if they can win one of them, he might have to carry them a little bit, and he does look a bit like a cheat code for Football Manager. He's got incredible attributes across all three categories. He's driven, he's 6'5", he's got great player traits for a striker. He's pretty much got everything. Saying that, he has gone from playing with the likes of the best player on the game, Kevin De Bruyne, Phil Foden, to playing with this bunch, the Wrexham squad, and the likes of Jordan Davis and Ollie Palmer, who I'm sure they cannot believe their luck here. Phil Parkinson is the man in charge of Wrexham, and he likes to play a one-striker system, which, unless he wants to lose his job or he's a maniac, that'll be Haaland up front. Looking at the season preview then, Wrexham are a massive 91-1 on to finish first. Flip me, that's ridiculous. Imagine the chaos this season if they don't go up at 91-1 on. They've also got 8 players in the Media Dream 11. They didn't even need Haaland. I should have put him at Maidstone or someone. Right, we're on the 14th of May, 2023. One season has passed. Erling Haaland has scored a massive 75 goals this season, with 71 in the Vanarama National. 71! That's a lot of goals. I mean, he scored 30 more than his XG. Led by the big Norwegian, then Wrexham have won the Vanarama National. Of course they have, with a massive 115 points. They've won 37 from their 46 games, and they must have confirmed themselves as champions quite a long time ago. They were top of the league after match week 6 and stayed there for the entire season. Nobody could get near them. As well as the 71 goals, Haaland had the highest average rating in the league with a huge 8.63 and the most man of the matches with 27. That is more than half of their matches this season. He started August with a hat-trick on his first game of the season. He got 3 hat-tricks in a row against Gateshead, Dorking and Maidenhead. Then to finish off September, he got a double hat-trick against Southend. He scored 15 goals in September alone. He carried on scoring throughout the season, driving Wrexham forward. To be honest, it was more of a question of when he didn't score than when he did. As we said then, Haaland had the most goals in the league this season with 71, which was an average of a goal roughly every 45 minutes. So he basically scores a goal every half of football he plays. He had the most shots in the league with 310, 170 of those hit the target. That's over 50% of his shots hitting the target. I mean, he's actually scored more goals than over half of the clubs in this league. He won a couple of awards, obviously the league's top goal scorer, and he won the Player of the Season award as well. I can't imagine there was a close vote. I was wondering how City would get on without Haaland this season, and despite not making a single signing, they've somehow managed to win the league. They relied on Alvarez, who got 11 league goals, so it's not bad, but it's not 71. How have they won the league? I'm baffled. So with Haaland and Wrexham heading up to League 2, let's see if they can get themselves back-to-back promotions. Right, we're on the 2nd of June 2024, the end of the League 2 season, and Haaland, who's been made the captain of Wrexham now, has scored 50 goals in all competitions this season, 47 in League 2. Again, outperforming his XG by about 20 goals. He's now got 118 league goals in 87 Wrexham appearances. Again, unbelievably, Wrexham were 91-1 on to finish first in League 2, and they also had 9 players in the Media Dream 11 this time. The 47 league goals Haaland has got this season have fired Wrexham to back-to-back promotions. I think we were kind of expecting that. They go up as champions with 98 points, and they only lost 6 games of their 46 this season. What a contrast between the two clubs who came up. Wrexham, who continue to rise, and Oldham, they're going back down to the Vanarama National. Like last season, it did take a little bit longer, but as soon as Wrexham hit the top of the league, there wasn't much stopping them. Again, Haaland has the most goals in the league, 17 more than his closest challenger. He's also again got the highest average rating with an 8.14. And again, he's won the most Man of the Match awards with 23. So less goals, less Man of the Match awards than the Vanarama National, but still another phenomenal season that ends with Wrexham as champions. He started the season yet again by bagging a hat-trick. This time, Doncaster Rovers were his victims. Is this going to become an ongoing thing, just getting hat-tricks on the start of every season? Looking at the first few months, it doesn't look like he scored anywhere near as many as he did last season, which is a bit baffling, as I don't think the standard between the Vanarama National and League 2 is that much different. He did get a couple more hat-tricks throughout the season against the likes of Swindon, Harrogate and Tranmere. As we move towards the end of the schedule, it does look like he's been pretty consistent in getting his name on the score sheet. He again had the most shots in the league with 257, the most on target with 137, and he averaged a goal every 60 minutes. And all of this led to him yet again winning the Player of the Year award. Now, one of the reasons he might have scored less goals is due to a change of manager. Phil Parkinson left halfway through the season for the Reading job. I mean, I'm not sure if I'd have done that, Phil.
Thanks, Phil. Now...
Sorry.
Thanks for that, Phil.
Phil?
Sorry, Mr. Parkinson. I'd be sticking with Haaland to carry me to the Prem. So the new Wrexham manager was Darren Moore, who did prefer to play a 2 up front tactic, which he implemented at Wrexham, which meant the goals were probably shared between both strikers this season. For example, ignore Lee here, but Carlos Mendes Gomez has played more often and bagged 15 in the league. So with back-to-back promotion, surely Haaland can't carry Wrexham to another promotion, this time from League 1, can he? Now, they weren't the favourites to win the league this season, and they weren't even considered to be in the promotion places. No more 91-1 odds on. Haaland was also the only player this season in the Media Dream 11 for Wrexham, so you can tell there's a bit of a jump in quality here. He has, however, had a similar season to last season, scoring 47 goals in all competitions, with 43 coming in the league. And that moves him on to 158 goals in 125 league games for Wrexham. However, the run of promotions has come to an end at the League 1 stage. After a 6th place finish in the league, which, to be honest, that's not too bad at all. They faced Derby in the playoff semi-finals, and they did beat them 3-1 on aggregate, before falling to Sheffield Wednesday in the playoff final, also losing by 3-1. And Haaland didn't even show up for this game. He didn't score, he didn't do anything, and apart from Kane at right wing back, he was the worst player on the pitch. Literally, this was the worst time to have an off day. And I do think it's becoming a habit now for Haaland to always start the seasons with a hat-trick. This time, it was Accrington Stanley. Who are they? Who are they? But he was scoring on a pretty regular basis and had some help from the likes of Mendes Gomez again. He did have a great end to the season, but just couldn't find a goal or two for a 3rd promotion in a row for Wrexham. They were a fairly average mid-table team for the majority of the season. They did sneak into the playoffs towards the end, so you could say they got a little bit lucky and probably would have been overachieving had they gone up. These awards also seem to be a yearly occurrence at the moment for Haaland. Again, the top goal scorer in the league with 43, the highest average rating with a 7.91, and the most man of the matches with 16. And yes, you guessed it, he won the Player of the Year award yet again. He again had the most shots with 217, the most shots on target with 130, and the lowest average minutes per goal, scoring every 72 minutes. However, it is noticeable that these numbers are changing as Haaland and Wrexham move up the Football League, which goes to show they probably need to strengthen their squad a little bit more if they're to stay on the rise. All in all, Wrexham didn't do too badly, and they did get to the 4th round of the FA Cup before being knocked out by Leeds. As Wrexham seem to be on the up still, City are definitely on the slide. They finished 12th in the Premier League this season, and they only qualified for Europe due to winning the Carabao Cup. Looking ahead to next season then, Wrexham will want to build on this strong end to the season. However, they are in the same position of being predicted an 8th place finish, and with only Haaland in the media Dream 11. His 4th season at Wrexham is finished then, and he did go on to score another 48 goals in all competitions, with 44 of these coming in the league. He's also passed 200 goals in a Wrexham shirt in only 167 appearances. As you can see, Wrexham did strengthen throughout the season in their bid for promotion to the Championship. They spent 1.2 million, but have they done enough to take them up? Yes, is the simple answer to that. Yes, they have. Wrexham are promoted in 2nd place, 4 points behind the champions Bolton, however 4 points ahead of the playoff spots. So they will be playing Championship football next season, 3 promotions in 4 seasons. Now, in contrast to previous seasons, Wrexham started this season really well and were top from the start of the season all the way to match week 24. They did flirt a little bit with falling outside the top 2, but they were always in the automatic promotion race. Haaland did get himself 44 goals, as we said, an average rating of 7.96 and 20 man of the matches to yet again earn himself the Player of the Year award. The run of hat-tricks to start the season, though, has been broken. He only managed 2 against Charlton on the opening day of this season. Shocking. 2 got unbelievable. As you can see, though, he was firing in goals all season for Wrexham. He got himself 4 against Stockport, another hat-trick against Tranmere, and had a really good end to the season to ensure Wrexham finished in the top 2. I do think this might be the last season where Haaland is this dominant in terms of having the most shots on target, and the best goals per minutes in the league, because next year, the Championship, one of the hardest leagues to get out of, is a big step up in terms of quality from what he's been playing. So say goodbye to these stats. And that is proven by looking at the season preview for the Championship season. Wrexham are 50-1 to finish first. They are predicted to finish 12th. Mind you, saying that, the team that are predicted to finish 21st are also 50-1, so I don't know how much we can read into this. I think a mid-table finish at this level would be a really good season, considering you've got some really good teams at this level. The 3 clubs that have been relegated from the Premier League, as well as the likes of Fulham, Middlesbrough, Norwich, Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest. So this is a massive step up in quality for Wrexham. Haaland is, however, of course, in the media Dream 11. I mean, he's going to be there every single season, regardless of the league he's in. There are no other Wrexham players, though, so it might take them to reinvest yet again to give them a squad capable of, at first, surviving the Championship and then pushing for promotion. You will not believe what has happened this season at Wrexham. First of all, Haaland has had his worst goal-scoring season with only 34 goals in all competitions and 26 in the league. I mean, it's not bad by any means, just not as good as his previous seasons. These goals have kept Wrexham in the Championship with a 19th place finish, but that's not the best thing about this season. Let's look at their FA Cup run, shall we? It started with back-to-back 3-0 wins. The first at home against League 2 Stockport in the 3rd round, with Haaland scoring twice, and the second away at League 1 Millwall in the 4th round. The 5th round saw Wrexham comfortably beat fellow Championship side Stoke before a tense quarter-final extra time victory against another Championship side Southampton, with Haaland again getting a brace. So that means a trip to Wembley for Wrexham, which saw them beat Premier League opposition in West Ham United 1-0, Haaland scoring the only goal of the game. Unbelievably, in the other semi-final, Man City lost against League 1 Bristol City, so we were so close to getting Haaland against his old club in the 5th season of him being at Wrexham. That's mental. However, in the final, Haaland scored a hat-trick as Wrexham beat Bristol City by 5-1 to lift the FA Cup trophy for the first time in the club's history. Which means, amazingly, I cannot believe this, Wrexham have qualified for the Europa League next season. Literally, 5 years ago, they were in the Vanarama National. Now, they're going to be playing European football. That's fantastic. This is great for the video. In comparison, Man City have finished 7th and have only qualified for the Europa Conference League. So, 5 years in, Wrexham already playing in a bigger European competition than City. I mean, Wrexham in the Europa League after a 19th place finish. That's That's incredible. So it wasn't the best season in terms of a league finish, however they did do the important thing and keep themselves out of the bottom 3. And as we have a look at the schedule, there's a lot more red and orange and a lot less green than what we've seen in recent seasons. Haaland did win the Championship Player of the Year award, however, he was knocked off his perch in terms of winning the top goalscorer award, having the most shots on target, which goes to show, despite Wrexham strengthening in the summer, there is a big step up in quality from League One to the Championship. And I do worry next season that this squad, well, they are going to struggle due to the extra matches, but hopefully, if they can continue to reinvest, who knows, they might end up winning the Europa League. I bet you didn't think they'd be winning the FA Cup already. We're 5 years in, so who knows what can happen. We'll come back in part 2 of this Haaland experiment and see whether they were able to have a good run in the Europa League and whether they were able to get promoted to the Premier League. I'm also pretty sure Haaland would have got himself plenty more goals to add to his 228 league goals already. If you haven't already, please do like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in part 2.